Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So, this is a re-record. there were a select few of you, and by select few, I mean like 100 of you, who saw my original Yankee Candle Summer 2024 haul, because I did post it 24 hours ago, a little bit more than that. But since then, I have gotten some more information, and it was actually a couple of you who have really good eyes, and you noticed in the fine print of the Target website that these candles that I assumed were a new Yankee Candle collection for the summer are actually, they are new. They are a new collection, but they're a collection that is exclusive to Target. In the fine print, it says sold only at Target, and the other Yankee Candles on the website do not say that. So I just started feeling really bad that, number one, I was giving you all incorrect information. So Target does have arrangements to sell Yankee Candles, and they tend to jump the gun and put the candles out on the floor well before Yankee Candle actually announces their collection. So we saw this happen in January with the Under the Desert Sun collection, for instance. Those candles just started trickling in at Target. They were on the floor, and they were at a much lower price point than full price at Yankee Candle. And they were that new, like, winter collection, or like early winter collection, Under the Desert Sun, long before Yankee even announced them or got them in or put them on their own website, which was a huge marketing blunder because Target was able to kind of steal their thunder and offer the candles at a much reduced price point, which is just not something that you ever want to have happen. And in the video that I gave yesterday, I assume this was the case again, and had like a screed on Yankee Candle for doing this again. So that's the second reason why I'm re-recording, because if they are indeed exclusive to Target, then we don't have a repeat performance of a new collection that is dropping to Target before it drops to Yankee, and which is just, it's a horrible situation. Amplified by the fact that this is apparently Target Circle Week or whatever. It's kind of an Amazon Prime Day answer from Target, and they're running various different sales. For me, I've been a little underwhelmed by it, but I guess all of the fancy things that they're offering at a discount are like not things that I'm interested in. So fine, God bless. At any rate, they are offering all of their candles at 30% off. So all of these new, like, exclusive candles here from Yankee Candle, all of the backlog of Yankee Candles that they have in their store are 30% off. All of their Chesapeake Bay candles are 30% off. So if you are interested at all in any kind of Yankee Candle or Chesapeake Bay candle, go to your local Target and pick them up right now for 30% off. Those candles at Target are already offered at a very reasonable price point. And then with the 30% off, it makes it almost highway robbery, to be honest. So this is, by the way, the Chesapeake Bay candle that I picked up this week. Chesapeake Bay is kind of a... So it's a company that was bought by Yankee Candle, I want to say like maybe about a decade ago or a little bit less. And so they are a Yankee Candle company. And if you look on the bottom, it does say they're poured in South Deerfield, Massachusetts. So for all intents and purposes, it is Yankee Candle. And they sell a great deal of these at Target. From what I can tell, the Chesapeake Bay candles run a little bit conceptual and a little bit more masculine than the usual Yankee Candles do. And in that sense are kind of more in my wheelhouse. There are the actual targeted branded candles, the ones that they offer are generally quite bad. And I'm not going to hijack this video talking about Target and their candles, but like, I have never seen a store, a company, like, devote so much floor space and effort to candles and have so many of them miss the mark and be cheap and synthetic and just bad. I don't know what's going on at Target, but it's been that way for quite a bit. Your best bet, frankly, at Target is to buy a Yankee Candle, to buy a Chesapeake Bay candle. And actually, I think a sleeper is their wax melts are actually quite good and at a very low price point, and they usually offer an enormous selection on them, even a better selection than like Better Homes and Gardens at Walmart. So I actually think that the wax melts, which unfortunately are excluded from this 30% off sale, are a good deal at Target. At any rate, I smelled all of the Chesapeake Bay candles, and the one I've had my eye on the Cashmere Plum one for a while, but I've smelled versions of it before. It's very similar to Sugar Plum from Village Candle, for instance. So I passed on it for right now because I probably wouldn't want to burn it until like the fall or, cooler months anyway. This one is incredible. So this one is called Midnight Forest, and I don't actually have notes listed here, but I can probably find them, and I will by the time that I actually review it. Oh my gosh, so incredible. So this is a beautiful like green, gosh, almost a green jungle vibe. I don't know that forest is right. Jungle seems a little bit better, because it's a very dewy green vibe. Like a green vine, green palms, aquatic, kind of vaguely floral, but in more of a tropical kind of way. And I think that there's some musk or moss behind it. So I would say Midnight Jungle more than Midnight Forest. And because of those amazing green, sweet elements, this is a candle that actually is very now. It's very spring, or early spring, or frankly, this is an all-around candle. I mean, it's a very versatile green botanical candle that you could burn at any time during the year. But I think especially now, I am obsessed. Almost a little vaguely herbal. Oh, it's fantastic. If you lean botanical, I really think you ought to check this out. But definitely if you're heading to Target, check out the Chesapeake Bays because you can get them for 30% off. By the way, you can order all of these candles online, but I don't recommend it. Target does not know how to ship candles. It's not their thing. They don't do it enough. And so the chances of them just throwing it in a box and it coming to you completely shattered is incredibly high, incredibly high. The good news is Target is very generous and they will probably reimburse you and not even ask you to bring the candles back to the store or ship them back to them. But like, do you want destroyed candles? If not, head to your store. Thankfully, Target has a good corporate footprint. You hopefully have a Target somewhere within driving distance of you, so definitely go in and smell. Okay, so let's get to the Yankee Candles. I assumed that this was a brand new summer collection for Yankee Candle, and frankly, it is, but I do believe it's exclusive to Target, and I do have to kind of call out Target here. If these are an exclusive collection to them, like, there should have been more hype. There should be more advertising. There should be more excitement and buzz. These should be a beautiful end cap in the store. I mean, they're extremely photogenic candles. They all work beautifully as a collection. And as a collection, they actually all say Carefree Caribbean Collection. So they're just made for a display, made for advertising and promotion. And I don't understand why Target isn't capitalizing on that, especially if they have an arrangement, a special arrangement with Target for an entire collection, which is just going to be sold in Target stores. That is partly the reason, the fact that there was no buzz and like they just started kind of trickling onto the floor, pretty much one at a time, in terms of the candles, made me think that it was just a new collection from Yankee that they just had in the back and just kind of put on their floor rather than a special arrangement that they have, So I found out about this because I was at a Target last week with my nieces and nephews. We were smelling all the Yankee candles, and I picked one up, and it was actually in the apothecary jar, and it was this one, Bahamas Beach Bum, and I was not aware of this candle before, but that doesn't mean a whole lot because I have not been buying that many Yankee candles for the last, 10 years, 15 years for many obvious reasons. And so I just assumed Bahamas Beach Bum was either a repackage of something that is long-standing, or it was one of the new candles that came out in the last few years and I just was not aware of it. So I smelled it, and the minute I smelled it, I was like, what? This is stunning. Yes, it's a little basic. Yes, it's kind of very much like similar to other kind of beach candles in this genre, but I thought it was stunning. So I took a picture of it with my phone, and then when I got home, I did some internet research. I was like, who has burned Bahamas Beach Bum? Is it currently on the website at Yankee? Like, what do people think of it? Is it a repackage? Blah, blah, blah. And I found zero about it online. Zero. So then I noticed in the picture that it said Carefree Caribbean Collection. So I put that into the search bar. Nothing. Absolutely nothing online. So I went back to Target's website because I was like, well, you guys were selling it. So I looked it up there, and then all of these other Carefree Caribbean like candles started showing up on the website. And I was looking at all of them. They're obviously like a dedicated collection, and Target is, at the time, at that particular Target, this was the only one on the floor. The other ones weren't. That's what I'm talking about with this like very kind of ad hoc, a la carte kind of like presentation of these candles, just mixed in with the regular Yankee candles in the aisle, right? So then I started thinking, this is what happened in January. Philly Candleman was the one who put it on his Instagram and was like, here's the new desert collection at Target 3 weeks before it's going to drop to Yankee Candle, and you can get it for $16.99. So why would you bother waiting for like the Yankee Candle, right? And so I thought, well, this must be their new summer collection, and they're doing the same thing. Well, as it turns out, in the very fine print on the website, it says these are exclusive to Target. And I wanted to, I just deleted the video I had before, and because I want to be totally upfront about that. It's very likely that these will just be Target ones. You can only find them in Target. I do think it's a bit of a mistake because I think they're great candles, and I really think Yankee should sell them in their stores too. Whenever there's like an exclusive thing with like a retailer or whatever, there's always a question as to whether or not these candles are lesser in some ways than the ones that like would just be sold from the company themselves. But when I was smelling them and the way that I experience in them, I'm not seeing any kind of quality difference between this or a candle that would be sold at Yankee Candle. It's definitely within the main of all of the new candles that they've pulled out. And in my opinion, a cut above. I'm actually really happy with this collection. I think it's a beautiful one. I think it's coherent. I think it's visually stunning. I think it makes sense in terms of marketing and in terms of just the entire concept of it, the season, etc., etc. So I really highly recommend these, and I think it's kind of a mistake that Yankee isn't going to go ahead and sell them in their stores, to be honest, and just kind of stand behind them across the board. So preamble over. Let's talk about the 6 that are dropping to Target and have in fact dropped to Target. And if you go to a store this week, I think it ends like on Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. Maybe it goes all the way through to like Sunday morning, right? This is their like week. They're 30% off. So the pricing is kind of weird for Yankee candles at Target. They will either be $16.99 or $19.99, and there's no real predictability about those price points right now. These 6 that they're offering right now in the large tumbler, like this modern tumbler, are now $19.99 as opposed to $16.99. But I believe that the Desert Sun ones that are in this tumbler are $16.99. And that's regular price So with the 30% off, I think it's like $11.80 or something like that for the Desert Sun ones. And then with 30% off here, they're $14, so $13.99. Still amazing bargain. They also sell the entire line in like the classic apothecary large jars as well. And if I might say so, they're even more stunning, I think, and more charming looking in the classic apothecary design. And I came super close to getting them in that apothecary. Those are 100% paraffin. I'm a paraffin girl, but they only have one single wick, whereas these have two wicks. And the way that I burn candles and the way that I need to get through candles, I really need that double wick to get through it faster. I prefer a medium jar, but at Target, they don't offer the mediums. These are soy blend. Generally speaking, I like paraffin better, but for whatever reasons, Yankee has not been investing very heavily into that classic apothecary. They've been investing heavily into this soy blend. So the strength and the throw on the soy blends here are generally much higher than the apothecary paraffins, which doesn't make a lot of sense because paraffin should, all things being equal, give you a better strength and throw. So I can only assume that they're actually putting more scent oils and really working to get these correct and kind of phoning it in with the apothecaries, which is kind of their grandfathered in like old school Yankee. They are kind of running those apothecaries into the ground. And I don't know if that's intentional or not, but that's definitely what's happening. So if strength and throw is important to you, I would definitely stay with this 2-wick soy blend. But both of them are available at Target. I picked all 6 up in this format, and as you can tell, I have already started burning it. It does have a good deal of soy in it because you've got that soy smut a little bit. It's burned great. I think I've burned it like 2 or 3 times. Spoiler alert, it's not a very strong candle, and it makes me so sad because if this was a strong candle, it would be a best new candle for me 100%. So quickly, the 6 that Target has right now are this one, which is Bahamas Beach Balm. And then we have Aruba, which is in this stunning blue jar. Ocean in Aruba with the shells. We have one from Jamaica. This is Jamaican or Jamaica vibes. Beautiful, like palm green. We have Barbados spiced rum with this amazing magenta fuchsia design. We have St. Lucia skies in this dusty blue. And then last but not least, we have colorful Curaçao in this stunning mango yellow orange and plumerias. Oh, so stunning. Aren't they amazing looking? And if I have to say so, I actually think they look a bit more classy with just, I mean, they still have the clip art going on, but I appreciate that it's not like random clip art all over the jar. I've had this conversation with you guys before. I think it's tacky AF, no question. In fact, I was showing these to one of my sisters who used to be we were brought up on Yankee Candle. So, but like me, she hasn't purchased them in like the last 10 or 15 years, or the ones that she's purchased have been like classic ones, like used or, on Mercari, eBay, stuff like that, garage sales, whatnot. So she had never seen this kind of a jar. She's like, what kind of jar is this? She's like, this is like a trash can lid. It's so tacky. And I was like, oh, welcome to the new Yankee Candle. Like, actually, this looks a lot better than some of the candles they've been putting out lately. I showed her one of the clip art ones. She was like, what? I said, yeah, I just think it looks like a Glade candle. She's like, that's exactly what it looks like. A Glade candle you would buy at CVS. I said, I know. I don't know why Yankee is... I don't know why their marketing team is consistently putting forward candles that look cheap, regardless of how they smell, and they may smell cheap too. I don't know. But like, Why? When everybody else is trying to look more premium than they are in their packaging, why Yankee is doing this. But every time I say this, I always have people who clap back and are like, it's beautiful. I love it when they put it all over the jar. And I'm like, okay. Like, were you not buying Yankees back in the day when they were like super classy looking? Oh, anyway, for the clip art, I think this is really nice. I mean, they still have like the black and white clip art, but at least it's gold. And they've colored it in really nicely, and they have a beautiful, stunning, colorful like label and title or name there. Yes. And they just have it in one place, and the colors of the wax are so amazing, and it just looks like the best version of their like clip art marketing. That's all I'm going to say about it. Okay, so let's talk. Target does not usually get scent notes from Yankee, or if they do, they don't bother to put them on the website. What they do get from Yankee is the blurb, like the one sentence that, like, you know, promotes the candle and talks about the high notes of the particular candle. I'm kind of upset if these are exclusive to Target, because it means we're not going to get scent notes. And I'm upset about that, because if they were candles that Yankee was going to go ahead and sell, once Yankee sells them and puts them on their own website, we would also get a dedicated scent list. And now I'm really sad, because I don't know that we're going to get that. All we're going to get is like the fancy blurb, which is going to highlight a couple of the scent notes, but not give us the whole thing. And in many cases, the blurb for me is not completely representative of what it is that at least I'm smelling in the jar. So I'm a little unhappy about that. But I'm going to give you all the blurbs, and I'm going to talk about what it is that I'm smelling as I go through them. So let's start with the one that I have burned, and the one that frankly is one of my absolute favorites, if not my favorite of the collection, which is Bahamas Beach Bum. And it's in this beautiful, like creamy kind of color here with a coconut. So, oh man, it's so good. It's just everything you want from a beach candle, but it has a very strong, like wood, masculine wood kind of dimension to it. And I don't know that I noticed it as much when I was just smelling it cold in the store. But then when I came home and burned it in my sister's house a couple times, there was one time I was kind of like bending over it, like smelling it. And I thought to myself, I'm getting like Bath and Body Works Palo Santo vibes from this candle, you know, almost Palo Santo and sage. Like there's something almost vaguely herbal in the musk. Although I didn't notice it as much on cold. So on cold, the top notes are still like your very standard beachy, like vague neroli with like sandalwood and amber and coconut. Not as much coconut. I could actually stand a little bit more coconut in here, but there is some coconut. And then underneath, there's like this big, like warm, freshly hewn wood. And if you're familiar with Palo Santo from Bath and Body Works, it's very close to that particular fragrance note. Oh, it's so intoxicating. I love it. Because of the wood, because of like the musk, because of that herbal thing, it kind of takes it to a much more like spa kind of place, you know? Like it's got the traditional tropical stuff, and then it's got this like super chill spa, which is actually perfect for the branding Bahama Beach Bum. So the blurb on the website says, dream of living right on the beach in the Bahamas with a sense of coconut water, jasmine, oh, there you go, there's your white floral, salted driftwood, and white sands. So white sands is kind of your fantasy note, but generally in fragrance, it is represented with like sandalwood, with amber, with neroli, and or coconut. Yeah? So there's your white sands. Salted driftwood. So driftwood is going to give you like that mineral, that masculine musk, and definitely a very strong wood note. More wood than you would just associate with like sandalwood, for instance. So that's the note that you're smelling. And for me personally, it's very reminiscent of like the Palo Santo from Bath and Body Works. So think about like the best of the tropical candles at Bath and Body Works, like the best and most sophisticated notes, along with like Palo Santo and or Palo Santo and Sage. And that is what this candle is. And I am so here for it. This candle actually smells much more premium than most all of Bath and Body Works tropical candles, which is so welcome because even in the Desert Sun collection from Yankee in January, I noticed there were a couple candles that smelled a little cheap, a little synthetic. This one does not smell cheap at all. And in fact, none of these do. So I'm really happy with them. Like when my sister and I were smelling them, we definitely had our likes and we had the ones that we didn't like quite as well. But I told her at the end, I said, honestly, there are no disasters here. There's no candles that are just like dumpster fire of a candle. And she agreed. She was like, you're right. You're right. She's like, I don't love this one so much, but none of them are terrible. You know, when you're smelling a candle and you're like, what on earth were they thinking? This is so terrible. None of these are. So that's another reason why I'm really happy with this collection. I do think this is a major standout though, in terms of the way that it smells. Oh, and I love beachy tropical candles, and this is just so everything. It is a me fragrance. I love it. Unfortunately, in my sister's house, the Strength and Throw is almost non-existent. Now, she has a fairly large house, but it's not particularly open concept-y, so I should definitely have been getting more than I was getting. I had to kind of hang over it to smell it. I haven't burned it yet in my space, but I think it's definitely going to be a master bedroom kind of candle. I'm hoping I'm not going to have to put it in the guest bathroom. The other thing that I noticed is that what could be smelled was pretty much the base notes. So all of the wood and all of the musk and all of the mineral and all that sort of thing, that is what was coming across more. For some reason, the higher notes of the neroli and the coconut kind of lifted off and evaporated. So that's another reason why I kind of would have liked a little bit more of a coconut presence here. And I think that that would help keep the fragrance together. But to be honest, I've got to burn it in my space to kind of get a better read on it. I just wanted to flag that for you, that I think it's a stunning candle. And if you like any of the things that I talked about, all of those notes, all of those vibes, it's definitely one that you want to check out. But I am concerned this does not have very good performance. And that's just so unfortunate because it's always the candles that you love that don't perform. And this is one of them. Sweet Vanilla Horchata from the Desert Collection was the same way though. It was very, very weak. So it kind of looks like this one might be following on its heels, but unfortunately such a great candle and I wish it was stronger. So let's go to Aruba. We've got Ocean in Aruba with this amazing blue, right? With the shells. Woo! This one is super fruity. Super fruity. I don't know that I would have bought this one. If I wasn't just trying to keep the collection together and they were all of a certain price point. This is melon. It's a melon candle. Watermelon. Watermelon Central. And then if I'm not mistaken, there's a good amount of cantaloupe and perhaps even honeydew back behind it. So it's a melon candle. And there is something kind of vaguely aquatic about it. And it is super fresh and almost like less sweet, authentic melon. I say less because the watermelon doesn't actually, authentic watermelon, it's hard to get like a very authentic watermelon note. Most of the watermelon notes that we have in like fragrance are like candied, i.e. Jolly Rancher-ish, just a little bit. Blueberry is a very similar like fruit note in that respect. But this is about as authentic a watermelon, I think, as you can get in the still candied realm, if that makes any sense. And I think it's the cantaloupe back behind it that's cutting a lot of the sweetness. Cantaloupe is kind of a really funky melon. It's weird, it's dense, it's kind of like has a deadening creamy component to it, and is less overtly sweet as like a watermelon would be, especially a ripe watermelon. And I think it's that and the honeydew, if it's back there, that are like kind of mellowing out that watermelon and kind of bringing it back into that mid-range as opposed to like a high, like sugary sweet vibe. I actually have been looking for like, in my mind, I have this space for a watermelon candle I would like. And this is fairly close. Would I have liked something else, some other dimension to this candle? Would I have liked more aquatic, maybe a briny note? Maybe even an herbal note like a basil or a mint or something like that. Maybe. It's pretty linear. It's just melon. The notes on Aruba are notes of pink watermelon, sparkling waves, and sugar cane create the perfect picture of Aruba's deep blue sea. So yeah, pretty pared down. All they mention here is watermelon, waves, and sugar. So they do have something vaguely aquatic there too. And some of the aquatic just comes from the fact that like a watermelon is a very like water rich kind of like fruit. And in our association, fragrances that are melon like are often part of candles that are also very like refreshing. And so like our minds just kind of go there, I think, in the connotation of it. I actually kind of like this candle and I'm really excited to like burn it up. I think everybody would like this. I think if you're a fruity person, you would like it. It's very sweet. And I think if you're a watermelon person, you would like it too. I'm concerned though, because I almost like it, that it's not going to be sweet enough for some people. I'm not sure, but it's definitely one you want to check out. This is what I mean though about this collection being really good. Like, it's not just phoned in. Even if it's an exclusive Target collection, it's not phoned in. These candles and these fragrances, at least on cold, have a lot of care, have a lot of thought, and have a lot of like integrity to them in an authentic kind of way, which is surprising, I think, given the branding, given the company, etc., etc. I kind of like this one. It's not my favorite of the collection, and it is a little sweet for me personally, but I think it's an impressive watermelon if you are at all inclined. All right, let's go to another really fruity one, and that is Curaçao. This is colorful Curaçao, and I think one of the colors of the collection that just is one of the most stunning and evocative. Look at that yellow. Look at that yellow. Whoa! We have another super fruity candle here. The clip art shows a peach, which is not, it's not a peach candle. Although there might be peach in it, to be honest. But they should have a mango here. Maybe they couldn't find the clip art for mango. Shade over. This is Mango Central. Mango Central. It's a super mango candle. I mean, it basically smells exactly how you would expect this color to smell, right? Wow. For me, it's too sweet, and for me, it's just too... So you know the way that some people, perhaps you, feel about certain floral candles, how it like gets all the way up in here and fills your brain and gives you a headache and like, right? That's how I can sometimes get with these very nectarous kind of fruits. I'm still chasing like the perfect peach. I am kind of interested in a peach candle, but I don't love mango. I don't love the smell of it, and I definitely don't like the taste of it. So I'm not a mango person. And for me, this candle is a bit too nectarous. It's got a very high, dripping, honeyed, floral kind of nectar smell to it, like the kind that's almost about to go sour, you know. It's just very distinctive. And for me, it's just, ugh, it's too much. It's too much. I tried that Homeworks candle, the berries and nectar one or whatever, wild berries, and gosh, I did not like that candle. I don't think it was that great of a candle to begin with, but I think it was amplified by the fact that I don't have good tolerance for those kinds of fruit smells. Very, very high, not being chased or cut with anything. That said, I think there's going to be a ton of people who will love this candle. A lot of mango. Yes, it could have a little bit of peach in it as well. And then it has something kind of high and acidic, which is almost a little pineapple-like. So the notes here on Curaçao are: enjoy the vibrancy of Curaçao with mango, passion fruit, and creamy coconut milk notes. I could use a lot more creamy coconut. I don't know that I'm getting a ton of coconut here, and especially the cream dimension of a good creamy coconut milk would be able to tone down some of that high nectar. But there are so many mango coconut milk candles because Illume did it like a decade ago, and everybody's just been kind of duping this like coconut milk mango candle. And so I appreciate that they're giving us a mango and a coconut milk that doesn't smell like it's a dupe of Illume, which has a ton of coconut milk in it and a little bit of mango, if you know what I mean. Passion fruit I'm less familiar with because I don't eat passion fruit. But I suspect it's that more citrusy, acidic dimension of the candle that's sitting even higher, if you can believe it, than the nectar of the mango of the peach. Whew, that's a lot. It's a lot. There are basically no base notes. So it's all mid to high, and it's very loud volume. I'm going to be honest, I think I'll probably take this candle back. I know for the price point, I should probably keep it and review it for the channel, but I'm not going to enjoy it. I can tell you that right now. I'm not going to enjoy it, and I'll just be like burning it in a very perfunctory fashion, and I'm trying to not do that in my life as much as possible. Also, I have a ton of other candles that I want to burn for other reasons. So I think I will take this one back, but not because it's a bad candle, just because it's not me personally. And I think if you are at all interested in like a mango candle, a very bright, a very nectar kind of like stone fruit kind of candle, that you should definitely check this out. And also, if you're a passion fruit person, check this out as well. I think the latest passion fruit candle from Kringle was apparently a dumpster fire of a candle. So maybe check this one out if you're at Target, give it a smell, see if it floats your passion fruit boat. To be honest, I'm not sure what the percentages here are of passion fruit. I can pick out what I think is passion fruit and what I think is mango/peach, but I'm not sure what the percentages are. So those of you who are more familiar and more loving of passion fruit, you may be able to tell right away if it's enough passion fruit for you. But even if it's not, you may love the mango part of it. And look at that color. I mean, I'm almost sad to return it just because, like, who doesn't want to be burning a candle like this in their house during the summer? This candle says summer more than any other candle I think I have ever seen in my life. How stunning is this candle? Incredible. Presentation, marketing, so on point. And it makes my heart happy to be able to say that of a Yankee Candle, even with clip art on the front of it. All right, let's move on to... Let's do this one. This is actually, I think, one of my favorites right here, which is Jamaica Vibes. Look at that. That's really nice too. I do think they probably needed a different, as much as I love this green color, they probably needed a little bit of a different color to allow some of that, like some of those leaves to really pop behind it, but it's okay. Well, it's fine. It's fine. It's still very nice. Still very nice. Jamaican Vibes. Yes! Oh my gosh. Man, I think I almost like this better than Bahamas Beach Bum, and I love Bahama Beach Bum. This is stunning. Stunning. This is what makes me so upset about this now being like a Target exclusive. Oh my gosh. So, my friends, what I'm smelling here, to my nose, is one of the biggest and most amazing grapefruits that you'll ever smell in your life. Oh, and it's everything about the grapefruit. It's that like zestiness of the peel, of the rind, of the pith, with the like juiciness of the fruit on the inside, and it's got that tangy sourness. Oh, like you can just, like when you scratch like a, or cut a citrus fruit, and like the citrus oils kind of like almost bounce off the candle. That's what it smells like. And then, as if that wasn't enough, there's this amazing, like dark black pepper bite right underneath the candle, right underneath that grapefruit, and it just comes right at it. And you've got like this amazing sweet citrus with like the sourness of it and that black pepper bite just balancing the whole thing out. So definitely more balanced than this candle, which is just sugar central. And even more balanced than Aruba, which has the 3 melons, which are good. They kind of balance each other, but then there are no other dimensions to it. This one has the black pepper in it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I've been looking for a grapefruit candle exactly like this. I was really hoping that the grapefruit rosemary candle from Kringle was going to be like this. The rosemary was going to give like that really amazing dimension and kind of cut some of the sweetness. And then it kind of ended up not. I do like the smell of that candle, and I tried it in the daylight and I liked it. I wouldn't mind buying that candle, but I just haven't seen it on sale, and it hasn't been at a time where like I was making an order for Kringle. It is a beautiful grapefruit note in that grapefruit rosemary candle. It's a ton of pith and rind and zest, more so than the flesh and the fruit itself, which makes the candle incredibly sour and bitter. I still like it. I think it's fantastic and authentic. I think a lot of people thought that it was rosemary that they were smelling that was that really bitter sourness. To my nose, there was like hardly any rosemary in that candle. And what I smelled as like bitter and sour was not the herb, it was more like pith rind of grapefruit. This is a very strong black pepper. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Makes me want to cry. It's so good. Okay. Jamaica blurb, please let it perform. Jamaica says, experience Jamaica through the sense of emerald palm leaves, tart rhubarb, pink pepper, there's the pepper, and patchouli. So this is one of the blurbs that really had me puzzled because it's just not what I was smelling. They don't mention grapefruit at all in here. They do mention rhubarb. Rhubarb can be a similar note to grapefruit in that it has like a very warm, sour, tangy dimension to it. It could be rhubarb, but for me, it just seems like a very citrus fruit. If I saw the more extensive list, it may be that they have rhubarb and then they've got like orange or bergamot or something else in it so that it's giving off a grapefruit smell, even though it's not actually grapefruit. But if I didn't see the notes, I would say this is 1000% grapefruit. And when my nieces and nephews were smelling it, because we were just smelling them all cold and not looking at the blurb, my nephews, before I even said anything, they're like, it's grapefruit. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm not getting a ton of green here, although it may be that the brightness of the fruit and the bite of the pepper are overwhelming whatever is green here. Patchouli, I'm not smelling at all. Unless it's back behind the black pepper. So in this sense, like, I don't think the blurb is very helpful, but you know, maybe upon burning it, it'll be, something else will come out. It'll be more obvious that it's more of a like rhubarb than it is a grapefruit. But from what I'm smelling here, it's grapefruit and pepper. And it's one of the best grapefruit candles I think I've smelled in my entire life. No question. If this performs, it's a best new candle. Love it. That is Jamaica. We have two left. We've got St. Lucia. Let's do St. Lucia. So here's St. Lucia with this beautiful kind of dusty blue, and it's St. Lucia Skies. It's almost kind of a little bit of an alpine blue, if you know what I mean. So, okay, this is the outlier in the sense that it's the fragrance note that doesn't seem to be very beachy or summery. It's welcome because it's such a deviation, and I want to give a shout out to Yankee on this. I like this collection for a whole host of reasons, but one of the reasons being that I just think they did an amazing job with the diversity. They have 6 candles here that all look different from each other, that all smell different from each other, that make sense and have cohesion. I'm just super impressed. There's like basically no redundancy in this collection in terms of marketing, presentation, fragrance notes. It's really impressive. And yeah, I'm kind of looking at you, Kringle. You've had a couple collections of late that have been extremely redundant in terms of color, marketing, fragrance notes, etc. This is impressive. This is what you want to see. I think I even mentioned with the Kringle Fall collection, it was like everything was a shade of brown, like the brown waxes. And I even said, this is an amateur mistake, and it's one that Yankee would not make. Yankee, with all of its mistakes and its blunders over the last 10 years, would not create a collection in which all of the candles were like shades of brown, of all things. But they wouldn't all be shades of the same thing. And this is completely this collection is like exhibit A of all the right things. St. Lucia. So friends, this is your laundry day scent. So there's nothing particularly Caribbean about this fragrance, nor summery. It really doesn't make sense in the collection, except that it is a completely different smell than everything else. It's soapy, it's aquatic, it's vaguely floral, but it's very much in the vibe of like, I'm a dryer sheet, okay? It's not a bad dryer sheet, but I think it kind of is a dryer sheet. And I guess they wash clothes in the Caribbean just like everyone else. So here you go. If you like the soapy, fresh kind of fragrances, I think you're gonna like it. And if you would like a soapy, fresh fragrance to continue to burn in the July months that also has some beautiful summery kind of marketing on it, then this is your candle. But to be honest, these kinds of candles are a dime a dozen, you know? I mean, there's a lot of fresh, soapy, laundry detergent kind of candles out there. You have a lot to choose from. I don't know that you need this candle. The only people that I would recommend this to is the people who just love this kind of a candle and would like the summer marketing. So the notes on St. Lucia are: luxuriate under sunny St. Lucia skies with refreshing mineral water, island flowers, and blue spirulina scents. So yeah, there is something vaguely floral, vaguely aquatic, but it's just very soapy. It's very soapy. It's not a fresh floral. It's not an authentic floral or an authentic kind of aquatic note. And many of these candles do have very authentic notes. This one doesn't. It's just a very cliched kind of laundry detergent scent. Like I said, not a bad one. It's not so aggressive that it's like giving you a headache. But it's also not interesting or intriguing. And I have to say that in all my family and friends who smelled all of them, every single one of them said that this was their least favorite candle. And all of them said it's not because it's not a nice candle, it's just I like the other ones better. And I agree with that. I think that this one is unfortunately, although like color wise and marketing wise it does fit well within the collection, it's not only so far afield from the actual concept of the collection, but it's also the most cliched of them all. So for those reasons, I think it's probably not one to recommend, and I will probably return this one. I'm not a huge soapy laundry day person myself, and I know where to get a good one if I want one. I don't think I'm gonna mess around with that candle, but definitely be aware if that's kind of your vibe. We have one more left. Last but not least, Barbados spiced rum. And I was so excited about this one, not only because the color looks amazing, it looks so on point, but I love rum. Rum is like probably my favorite alcohol. I just love the taste of it, and it's so dark and it's so rich and it's so sweet and it's so spicy. I love it. And this is gorgeous. But is probably very close to a version of a candle you have smelled in other collections. So this is a very kind of, we would say masculine leaning. There's a lot of deep dark spices in this. And what is probably, or I think it actually is, vetiver / leather. You know, it's one of those kind of candles with like vague incensey kind of spices and a great deal of sweetness, an enormous amount of sweetness that is coming not only from the vetiver, but also probably from some amber, maybe some vanilla, but it's so spicy you wouldn't think of this as a vanilla candle. So the notes on this one are notes of warm rattan, island spices, vetiver, and rum barrels fill the air on your Barbados adventure. This is actually very similar to like Kringle's Sanctuary, although I do think that Sanctuary is more brilliant, but Sanctuary is just, it's like an industry leader in this particular genre. That Sanctuary candle was incredible. It's actually even a little bit similar to Candle 42 that Bath & Body Works just dropped, with the vetiver and the leather and the cinnamon, very similar. This one is not so cinnamon forward. It has kind of a collection of vague spices that do include cinnamon, but I think also include a great deal of clove. Yeah, clove. Very, very sweet though. Very sweet. It's like Sanctuary. Like Sanctuary is almost achingly sweet too. And it like as a countervailing presence to like the vetiver and the dark musk. Yeah. It's like just as sweet as it is musky. That's how this one is too. I would have liked it to be a little bit more boozy. I think there's some like brown sugar in here too. I think that's it's almost giving it kind of like a cola vibe because it's got the spices, like especially clove up against brown sugar. Yeah. It's cozy smelling. It is boozy reminiscent. There's something in the sweetness and in the spices and in the vetiver that go almost a touch fermented. But I would say I was kind of hoping for a little bit more of a boozy note in it. I think Harry Slatkin, for instance, would take this and like take it to that boozy place in a little bit more of an overt way. I don't think this quite gets there. But if you're worried about like the boozy note, I don't think you need to be. And perhaps there are more consumers that would prefer it to be less boozy than more, in which case you're in luck. The thing about this one is that I think for most people in North America, our associations and connotations with this are mainly cold weather. So when we smell like a spiciness and a vetiver and a musk, we immediately think like cold weather. Those are cold weather kind of smells for us. I suspect, and I'm no expert on this, but I suspect in the Caribbean, these are fragrances that are year round, and they don't get very cold weather. So vetiver and those spices is not something that would immediately take them to like a September place. But for us, it does. And so I just suspect, for me personally, this is not a candle that I would probably burn in June or July, but I would be thinking about burning in late August as a beautiful transition into September. Yeah? And I think a lot of people are going to experience the candle in the same way, that even though many of them may like it, they wouldn't think about purchasing it and buying it now. So if you want to purchase it and hang on to it for August, that is what I'm going to do. Yeah, it's nice. I am a little concerned about strength and throw on this one, but I'm hoping for the best. Those are aggressive notes. I'm hoping that they come across. I will probably not burn this until August, late August, for this going into September. And look, the color is perfect for late August into September. It's stunning. Let's talk about seasons. That is then. I'm probably going to return St. Lucia and Curaçao. Aruba, oh my melons are, does that sound indecent? I didn't mean it like that. This is going to be burned in July, because for me, watermelon is very July. What do you think? I think July. So maybe late June, early July, I'm going to burn up Aruba. And I think right now I'm going to finish Bahama Beach Bum for sure. And it's got a big wood sage, well, not sage, but a good wood musk component to it, and a light coconut that makes it like perfect for even right now. Yeah. And I'm going to be doing this one too very soon. Jamaica vibes with the amazing grapefruit and the amazing pepper, because there's nothing in that immediately screams, I must only be burned in July. I feel like you could almost burn this candle at any time in the year, to be honest. So for me, I'm going to do these ASAP. But if you're looking for a review, I'm probably not going to do Aruba until July, and I will probably not do Barbados until August/September. I'm like super happy with these. I really am. I mean, even if they don't perform, I'm impressed with Yankee, and I'm a little disappointed that it may possibly be a Target exclusive. And I think it's going to get less of an audience, and I think that's a shame, because as with the Under the Desert Sun of January, this is a good collection. It's good. It's solid. It's diverse. There's some standouts. The marketing works. It's cohesive. Everything seems to be executed well. There were no disasters here. And I think that Yankee Candle right now, at least with the last few offerings, have shown us that they're a candle company that is not delusional about where they are right now in terms of the success of their company and with their consumers. They know that they can't be doing a million things, that they need to do a few things and do them decently, if not more than decently. Yeah, better than decently. At the same time, they're not doing any kind of like desperate Hail Mary kind of gimmicks either. So I think for the most part, Kringle seems to be where or not Kringle, Freudian slip. Yankee is making some good moves here. They just need to watch the marketing blunders that, in this case, is probably not the case. I'm glad that I deleted my rant on this point. But what happened in the Under the Desert Sun needs to never happen again, where a retailer gets all of your new collection 3 weeks before you do and at a lower price point. They can't afford to make those kinds of mistakes. So if they can avoid those going forward, and again, hew closely to the things that matter, the fundamentals, making marginal changes, trying to be the best version of whatever modest initiative they've got, I think this is where they need to be. So I'm cautiously optimistic, and I like this collection a great deal. I think it's good. Caveats, though, about not having burned them, and the one that I did burn, it being very weak. but Sweet Vanilla Horchata was too, you know. Hopefully it's the only one in the collection that's that week. I did also stop at Yankee Candle proper last week. And I picked up a couple things. I've always kind of wanted this one. So I picked up this. This, by the way, is my favorite format. I know it's not like the most evocative, like it looks like a milk jar or something. I don't know. But this 2-wick medium. This is dried lavender and oak. I've kind of wanted this for a while, and I haven't yet burned it. And then I got this one too. I've been smelling this in stores recently, and I can't remember if this is an older candle or a newer one. Seaside Woods. This is stunning. Yes. Ooh. It's such a cozy, like almost cashmere kind of smell, but it's got all of this wood and musk. And then it's also got like this amazing like caramel note to it too. And it just works. Fantastic. Seaside Woods. So I saw that and I'm like, I'm getting that too. The other thing that I got actually was one of these. So this is one of their like tumbler ones, and it was just on the shelf. Citrus Blossom. And it's basically like a orange blossom. And the reason I got it was not because I was like bowled away by how amazing it was, but because I had just bought this single essential one from Bath & Body Works of orange blossom, which smells incredible, that I'm going to be burning soon. And then when I was at TJ Maxx or Marshall's the other day, I found this from Patty Wax, orange blossom, and it's like a 3-wick right here. And it's an orange blossom too. And it too smells incredible. So I thought to myself, like, maybe I'll get the Yankee one and we'll do like a burn off. A burn off. Let's do Battle of the Orange Blossoms in June. Let's do it in June. Like traditionally, orange blossoms are associated with weddings, or they were like back in the olden days. I guess brides had orange blossoms a lot in their wedding bouquets. So I feel like June is the right month. Let's do orange blossoms in June. And Yankee will be in the mix. Between us, just smelling them cold, it seems like the most lackluster one, but all bets off when you burn, right? Thank you for joining me, my friends. If you want these Yankee candles, or any Yankee candles, please go to Target. I suggest going physically to the store in the next couple days. Everything is 30% off, which makes these amazing soy blend 2 wicks $14, $13.99. You really can't beat that. And you're not going to see that price point. Well, I guess you're not going to see it at all in Yankee Candle, but that would be a very low price point for these kinds of vessels at Yankee Candle. So definitely don't pass that up. Give them a smell at the very least. I'm going to link all of those Target links down below. And I am really sad that we're not going to get an extensive scent list probably, but it is what it is. That's what I've got. I've got some other things coming up for you. I actually, when I was in Columbus last week, I found this person on Facebook Marketplace, and she was getting rid of some of her vintage Bath & Body Works candles. So I got a lot of those, and I'm going to share that very special haul with you soon. I also have a few Bath & Body Works candles to review, including the William Morris collection, Vanilla Mahogany, and the Wedding collection with First Sight and Dressed in White, among others. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one.